Cashflow Diary Podcast, episode 595.
Welcome to yet another exciting episode of the Cashflow Diary Podcast, the podcast that teaches you insider tips, tactics, and strategies for creating leverage streams of cash flow into your life. Learn from top-performing entrepreneurs, business owners, investors, and thought leaders from across the globe as they share their secrets to success. Like what you learn on this and other Cashflow Diary podcast episodes? Go to learninvestingnow.com and sign up to receive powerful tips and information that will help you succeed as an entrepreneur and investor. Now, here's your host, investor, entrepreneur, business owner, educator, speaker, author, and master facilitator of Robert Kiyosaki's cash flow game, Jay Massey.
All right, people, how you doing? All right, so kind of what I wanted to do at this particular moment for you guys, just answer your questions. Now, we have a number of ways to get your questions answered around here. For those of you who are new here, you may not know, but we have a call-in line. It's 417-344-2274. Because I am keeping the quote-unquote blast radius so small, it's pretty much just you guys. So if you've got a question from day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, by all means, bring it, because I would love to answer it. Now, with that being said, I still wanted to make sure that I answered some questions that may be going through your head, because I know yesterday, a number of you who were there, if you were there, you saw the offer that we made and what it is, the roadmap entails, and what you get to take advantage of. For those of you who were not there, you're like, okay, what is it? I don't really know. What's expiring on Tuesday? Totally understood. So I wanted to make sure that everybody is, again, on the same page. So with that being said, Cashflow Diary, we've been in the educational space for quite some time. Back on day 1, I told you I got in. I started that because I was bored. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. There was no purpose in the sense of having gained all this knowledge, and I get to use it over and over, obviously. But there was more that was desired. Educating others became the thing. And it gets me excited still. And watching people go through that process is something that I've had the privilege of doing a lot. One of the things I learned during that process is that humans don't transform overnight. Meaning, oftentimes we believe, we go, you know what? If I just have access to the information, if I could just go get more information, I'll be able to get myself through it. And there are some of you who are really good that way, where you can just, read something and do it. Great. And I'm willing to bet that even those of you who are that good learn things from other people, especially when you can learn things from other people who are going through it together. And some of you learn best by doing, right? And or illustration. You need more modalities, more communication in order to get through what can be a long process. You need more points of accountability. There's when you have that unique question, the book doesn't suddenly answer your question. You can't ask the book the question. You can't ask the video the question. So all of those things are things that we've done for a number of years, and we will continue to do. And now it's time to go to the next level. That next level, as we put it, is what we're calling the roadmap. It's literally the 6-figure roadmap. There are many people on the roadmap already, so we are delivering training to them every week, multiple times a week, live, by individuals who actually do whatever it is that they're training on. What does that mean? That means when someone asks me about attorney stuff, I'm not an attorney. So we bring one so that they can ask him or her that information. HR, same thing. Cleaning and there's just so many pieces to this business that it's not possible to achieve mastery without continual practice, continual failure, continuing experience. And that's if it didn't change. And then that's probably the biggest thing, is that when you have the videos, when you have the PDFs, and I believe our videos and PDFs are great. And many of you have them and you've achieved great success with them. And you still know that because things change, our community is vital, like to your survival, to your business survival. The other thousands of entrepreneurs and operators that we've gathered around us is vital to your survival. And I know that. I believe that. And one of the challenges that we've had is the whole situation with Facebook and being able to communicate easily. So we've developed an app, and now the roadmap individuals are the ones that are getting into the app first, and we are transitioning everyone there so it's easier for everybody. Anyway, it's a long way of saying that the content that we've created solved the problem at the time, and now it's time because the problem has evolved. So shall we. You're human. We know that accountability helps. It makes a difference. So therefore, every person who is taking advantage of the roadmap at cashflowdiary.com/roadmap, anyone who's taking advantage of it, you are getting a dedicated accountability coach. Yes, someone who's going to make sure. Got it? So, okay. Sorry, I thought I saw someone calling in a second ago. Anyway, so we're going to make sure that you have your dedicated accountability coach. We're going to make sure that you have not only the dedicated accountability coach, but multiple opportunities on a weekly basis, whether you work a full-time job or not. You'll always be able to catch something live, and everything is recorded. Most of it's transcribed to make it easier and more searchable for you so that you can go get those quick answers that you need. And the good news is a lot of what you're looking for is tactical, but there's a lot of things that need to be caught. And one of the things we're able to do now is help people catch those things, like you were sitting right next to me or anyone who's experienced just like you were sitting next to Starbucks. So for an entire year, and this is the big part right here. For the entire year, what ends up happening is that you end up in a situation in which you get to understand the entire business, because maybe you might not have thought about this yet, but when it comes to short-term rentals, I'll call it 90 to 120 days, things change in terms of travel. Okay. So it is not the same day to day. Your customers actually change from month to month because who is traveling to your geographic area changes. Their needs change. Now, there is some consistency with certain things, but there's definitely a fluctuation. There's a high season, there's a low season, and how you operate during that time, it helps to have guidance. It helps to have, all those little things that you need. Which is why during that time you will have a messaging access to your accountability coach. What does that mean? Not only is your accountability coach going to be up to date on you, but the two of you are going to consistently be working together for those quick questions that tend to happen, so that you can get them done for a year. The accountability coach has been trained. They know exactly that they have the answers. Okay. And when they don't, or if for some reason they don't, they can reach out to me and you still get the answer, is my point. You're going to meet with them to make sure that they're pulling you through, pushing you through, getting you through the content, and most importantly, the implementation, because that's where the rubber meets the road, right there. Implementation. Yep, you can discipline yourself to get to a video, get through a PDF. We're going to discipline you to get through implementation, right? Here's a freebie for you. There's a book out there called The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson. Go pick it up and read it and do what it says. And we're going to hold you accountable for 12 consecutive months. Now, yesterday, those of you who were here, you did a worksheet. And on that worksheet, we went through and you saw some numbers. You saw some numbers, but specifically your number. You saw a number We showed you literally how much revenue this year you have an opportunity at for you in your geographic area based upon your goals. You now know how much revenue per day. It's not that it's not being earned. It doesn't have to be invented. It's just going to someone else, because that is one of the rules of opportunity. It does knock on doors, but it keeps knocking. It doesn't stop just because you don't answer. It doesn't mean it went home. It says, okay, you didn't want me, I'll go to the next place. So I am hoping that there's a number of you who actually understand, like, get what I'm saying, and understand that what we're looking to do is to help you get all the way through this process. That's what we want. Another thing that, in case you did not know, I just want to make sure you do know, one of the things we created, because people often need to have some context, is we put together a calculator, and on that calculator, what it'll tell you is how many units you need to retire. Cool. So, and sometimes understanding that you may only be 5 units away, 6 units away, 8 units away, even 20 units away from an actual physical goal that feels nebulous can help you have an understanding. And I know for a fact, 6, 10, even 20 units inside your first 12 months is 100% possible for some of you. Our job, though, is to make it more probable. And that's what we do. That's why your accountability coach is there. That's why it's 1 year, because it takes time for all of us as humans to transform. And many of you right now are losing literally $200, $400, $800 every day. Every day. Said another way, that could be as much as $30 to $40 every hour, not every 8-hour period, so that I'm really clear, like literally every hour. And those things are things like that. Well, if you're okay with that, I totally get it. And yet at the same time, we're looking for those who want to now actually see at the end of this year more money than they had last year, because they were serious. And they want someone to hold them accountable to making it happen. So hopefully that's all of you. And make sure you go over to cashflowdiary.com/roadmap. Yeah, I said that right. cashflowdiary.com/roadmap to get that done. Now, okay, cool. Well, there's a lot of questions. Cool. So keep the questions coming. And I have some time blocked off today for you guys and your questions. So if the questions stop, I'll just assume we're done and that you guys have what you need. Now, I have one small caveat, okay? Because I'm just double checking real fast. I ordered Starbucks. So at some point, not here yet. At some point, I'm going to disappear to go downstairs, pick it up, and I will be back because I would like my coffee. Yes, while it's still hot, because I've done it before to where I've ordered it and then I'm sitting here with you guys and I forget and it just sits there. Anyway, I'm gonna go get it this time, okay? But they're not here yet, so just so you know. But let's go get some of these questions for sure, and let me put the phone number back up in case somebody prefers to call in. Again, all right, so we can, questions of just about any and every kind are welcome. And I think Megan is, Megan is in the chat. She'll probably be tagging a number of you or anyone who's watched anytime this week. That's also fine, because at the end of the day, we want to help you become a bigger, better version of you. Hey, Frank, how are you doing? I do my best by making mistakes, right? Right? See, that's one of the things that inside my book, or if you ever attend, anyway, there's a phrase that I use that has served me very, very well. It's move at the speed of instruction. Just think about that for a second. Think about what that means, what that implies. See, if you're moving at the speed of instruction, do you have time to question, even, do I have the capacity to do this? Usually not. Do you have time to wonder, is this the right thing for me? No. Does it work? I mean, you don't have time to wonder those things. The real thing is that it just takes a little bit level of trust. Trust, A, in the source of information or wherever the direction is coming from, but also trust that you're going to follow through. And because that's probably the biggest challenge I believe many of you could be dealing with, is you've started things before, and in your wisdom, which was great at the time, you said, you know what, I will get started and I can do it. I don't need anyone else's help. And that's a very American attitude for sure. But the one thing we do need is other people. And that's what Cashflow Diary is. It's a community of other individuals from all walks of life who are going through this process, this transformation. See, short-term rentals, leasing them, that's not the end. That's literally the beginning, right? This is a multi-year journey. That's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping for those of you who are ready to take a multi-year journey, because through that multi-year journey, I believe very strongly. And again, I'm not believing it like I hope to one day see people who we'd have this effect on. It's more of I believe it because we've already done it. And I would like to do more of it. And I know that there's someone out there, one of you right now. Actually, there's probably, I don't know. There's a number of you right now, but we'll find out, you know, and you've been looking for something, and that's why we're here. So again, cashflowdiary.com/roadmap. Megan is in the chat. If you've missed like one of the homeworks or something, feel free to go to the unit section so that we can get it. We're going to get focused on some of your questions. We'll see where we end up. It'll be interesting to see the type of questions that you guys have. Because, that's really what it comes down to. But yes, Megan is right. I do my best by making mistakes, guys. You have no idea. No idea. In fact, here's something you may not even considered before. Now, is even if this is the state of what value. Hold on. I think my coffee's here. Let me check. Nope, not yet, but it's coming soon. So let me see if I can get this done. So here's the state of value. Here's something I want you to understand. We human society, whatever, we have made making a judgment an error or a mistake so bad, so wrong, that we just no longer risk. And watch this. Let's pretend for a second that you were looking to start a hospital. Now, I've never started a hospital, but let's pretend I was selling an ebook on starting a hospital. You wanted to start a hospital. And the title of the ebook was 100 Ways I Failed Trying to Start a Hospital. Here's what I know. I could still sell that ebook. You know why? Because you want to know the 100 ways to not fail just as much, if not more, than the one way to succeed. Because see, if I said the one way to succeed, what ends up happening is that as humans, we say, well, I heard you could also do this, and I heard you could also do that, and I heard you could also do this, and I heard you could also do that. Which I think is funny. And that could be completely on the list of 100 ways to fail. My point is simple. We don't value failure the way that we should. The reason, and again, I'm trying to be transparent and clear. The only reason my wife and I have been able to experience, traveling and choices and all the things that we do is because we have failed more than you. That's really it. We have failed more frequently. We have failed faster. And we had to learn to fail forward. So I often tell people, fail forward, fail fast, fail frequently. Because that's a lot of what it takes, And that's what we've set up for you here at Cashflow Diary is a safe environment through which you can fall and fall fast and learn to get back up and learn to keep going straight. So that's exactly what we're after. Let me go get my coffee because I think it's downstairs. I will be right back. I want to get your questions. I'm going to give you some music that I like anyway. And let me see. Let me give you some music. I will be right back. And press play, Jay. Press play, press play. There we go. I'll be right back. I'm going to get my coffee. Just somebody in the chat say, Jay, I'll be back. He went to get coffee. I'm back. Ooh, coffee. Let me see. Okay, number there. Boom, boom. How many units? Got it. So I see Nevin's here. Hey, sir. 1, 2. Where is? There we go. All right, got it. Frank, I do my best. Ruth, I'm here now. Weird thing, I was on the different web. Yes, Ruth, we are running a number of replays, as well as we're running a number of replays, and we're introducing a number. Well, we have a number of testimonials. Some will be live, some are pre-recorded. Maybe you saw Sarah, you might have saw Haley. So we have a number of those things going to, again, just to remind you, help you in any way that we possibly can to make it all work. Okay. Oh, perfect, Paul. Excellent. And then let me see, Veronica. Hey. Oh, Ernesto is tagging Veronica. Got it. I was on the phone, then our maintenance guy called and his truck broke down. That's okay, April. No big deal. Hey, Jay, Erwin. What's going on? What do we do about POE? Oh, okay, got it. Erwin, if I remember correctly, I asked you to save that to today. So now I'm asking you to go ahead and call in 417-344-2274. Let's get on the phone, making sure it's all connected still. And I'll walk you through this for sure because, yeah. Because I want to know. All right, so I just found, and so while Erwin, I'm waiting for you to show up here. What we see in terms of the phone, it says I just found a property, and I don't know if it's Michael or Michelle, or I don't know how to pronounce it, but so I'm not really sure there. I just found a property in Alameda for sale, and it looks like it needs work, but I was thinking about buying it through wholesale. Okay. I just don't know what the question is. I'm sorry. If you want to reword that, and I will gladly answer it. I just don't know what the question is. So anyway, and then let's see. Art, what's up? How are you? Oh, wow. Lots of tagging. I love it. Move at the speed of instruction. Yep. I have a confession. I still haven't finished the entire original mastermind recording. Got too busy with operating. Yes, that's it. I know that happens. But that's actually also okay. Because see, one of the interesting things about schooling, because notice I didn't say education, but one of the interesting things about schooling, it also trains you that you are not, quote unquote, qualified. You are not ready to go practice. You are not ready to go do the thing until you've gone through all of these chapters and passed all of these tests. And now you are qualified, when that couldn't be more further from the truth. One of the best things you could ever do with my materials or anybody's materials, when you're learning something, read a chapter, put the book down. Yes, it was good. Wonderful. Put the book down. Now go do what that chapter says for a day. Then come back the next day, read the next chapter. Now go do what that chapter says. That you do that, you will learn more, retain more. You'll actually move faster through the process. And that's exactly why your accountability coach will be there to help you do that very thing. They're going to direct you through the program. Now, your next step, watch this video, do this. Watch this, do that. Fill this out, do that. That's literally their job, to make sure that you know the schedule of the trainings and make sure that you stay on track and continually move forward. So I appreciate the sentiment, and yet at the same time, Sarah, that's how I think everybody should do it. You know, I could care less if you finish the information. The information is there so that you do the thing. If you're doing the thing, great. Now, when you're going through the information, the question is did you do all of the things that are there to have you have the highest, the lowest expense ratios and the highest profit margins? Because there can be situations where many of you, you've made some money and it feels like, oh, this is great. But yet you also know you're stuck if you're really wanting to be honest. Because I know you are, because I interviewed so many people. There's no one who's even brave enough to tell you you'll work an hour a day, because they probably don't have a system that can teach you how to do it. And if they do, how many other people do they have doing it too? And that's what really counts in my book, that's just what counts in my book. So anyway, hopefully that makes sense. And Sarah, thank you again for going live earlier. I appreciate you. That's all I'm going to say. Chicago's in the house. I like it. Yes. Coffee break. Thank you. Hey, hiya. What is going on? Long time no talk. How is the little one? I haven't, we haven't interacted. Not much since the little one. I'm assuming things are fine. I don't really know. But, I'm sure you're still adjusting, but also enjoying it like every other mom. It is what it is. What? No way. That is amazing. Way to go, Ahmed. You might be in a unique company there, buddy. So that's good. That's very, very good. Okay. Oh, sorry. Someone's on the phone. I see it now. Hold on one second. That's probably let's go get this call right here. Okay. Is this Erwin?
Hey, Jay.
Hey, sir. How are you?
All right.
Good.
Trying to get my kid to couple right here.
Yeah, no doubt. I hear you there. So help me understand the situation. Let me go back to what you wrote so everybody knows what's going on. All right. So what do we do about PoE cameras to secure them for being potential unplugging? What are you referring to? First of all, what camera are you talking about? Hey guys, thanks for listening as always, and I'm glad that you continue to support with each and every download and subscription and share. One of the things that I want to ask you though is, where are you listening to me from right now? I know some of you, maybe you're on a treadmill, maybe you're washing dishes, maybe you're walking that dog, and some of you are actually in a vehicle driving right now. One of the fun things that you can do to get some of your time back is begin to living a car-free existence. But even then, it can be a little complicated. So one of the things that I want you to do is I want you to go over to Zipcar. Go to joinzipcar.com/CashFlowDiary. It's a way that I am able to still go get a car just for a few hours, very, very simply, so that if I have a lot of errands to run and sheets to drop off and running to the short-term rentals, or if I just want to go for a long trip up to LA and back, etc., I can rent a car for a very, very short period of time. And the cool part is I don't even have to pay for any gas. Again, go to joinzipcar.com/CashFlowDiary.
So the doorbell camera, and then we have a backdoor camera.
And whose camera? Who made this camera?
Oh, they're from Vivid installed them.
Okay, so you did not get the hardwired one?
The guy didn't offer them.
What do you mean? What does it look like on the front? Does it look like? Because I'm only aware the ones that I am aware of are hardwired, so they can't be unplugged.
Okay, so
they're not battery operated. They are literally tied to the electricity on the wall.
Oh, okay. Like the doorbell camera, it looks like for the Cat 45, but it has it's basically an outlet. You just plug it in.
Oh, you're talking about the panel?
No. The panel, the panel is just plugged in, but the actual Cat 40, there's a Cat 45.
Yes.
That powers the actual doorbell camera, and then there's a Cat 45 that powers the backdoor camera.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he didn't run that through the wall?
No.
Now I understand why you have the question. Here's what you do.
Yeah.
Now I understand why. I'm so confused. Always ask them to run it through the wall. That's the answer. The answer to your quote, the big mystery there. That's why I'm like, what is he doing? I'm so confused. yeah, they should have ran that through the wall.
Okay.
Now, and that's the. Go ahead.
Yeah, because like we didn't want to have it. I think basically because the place we got was just remodeled, so we didn't want to have them.
I've never had I've never had a person complain, hey, I'm trying to make your place more secure and I need to attach a doorbell camera to the place and I'm going to run it through the wall. No one's ever complained. It's usually just clean up the mess. That's usually because, it leaves up. Okay. It can just make sure the finish work looks great and you should be fine. But yeah, that has to go through the wall, my friend. Because that's why I was so confused. I'm like, that's why I asked you when you asked it earlier. I'm like, I need to talk to you because something doesn't sound right, and I would have never been able to figure that out.
Yeah, I was like, how's this done?
Yeah, no. So yeah, just call them up, let them know that it was not installed properly, and they should be able to send. I don't know when they'll send someone out, but they should be able to send someone out and get that fixed for you.
Awesome, good.
And if for some reason you still have trouble, just tag my wife. She should be able to make it go faster.
Oh yeah. I got it. I got an executive rep now. Visit.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah. Well, that's what that was the whole plan. That's why we talked to them for you guys, so that it makes things like this, if something happens, easier, so that our people can just get cut through the line because they know. They know how many units we end up buying and all this other stuff. It just makes a difference. So I'm glad to hear that that's working out.
Awesome.
Okay. Thanks, man. Thanks for calling. So,
thanks.
Yeah, no problem. Anytime. So who else has a question? Feel free to call on in 417-344-2274. And then one of the things. So let me give you an example of what just happened right there. Who's this? Okay, got it. I see someone else. Oh, hold on. No way. Haya?
Hi, Jay.
Yeah, it's Haya. This is amazing. I've been talking to you in like what feels like forever.
I know. We're still here and alive and doing it and trying to manage babies at the same time.
Yeah. Well, yeah. How's it? Okay, so you started the business before you had children. Now you've had to is it like, how's that working out?
Well, we've built the business to the point where we've got a lot of systems in place in addition to the ones that you taught us. Mm-hmm. And so we don't really spend a lot of time on the day-to-day at the unit. And that's her in the background. So we don't spend a lot of time there. So I haven't done a whole lot with the business since she's been here. James pops in every so often, but we don't spend a ton of time. And we have a new QC person, so she's taking up the things that James would have gone to check on.
So, in other words, it's working.
It's working. Yeah, we're in a slow season right now, but it's working. I know, right? It kind of doesn't need us every day.
Right? So. Right? And it still doesn't. Yeah. Okay, so I know for me, I still feel like, wow, this is weird. And there's still like this little bit of an adjustment, like, okay, this is cool and weird at the same time. But also, I like it.
Well, James and I were talking the other day. So I still love wholesaling. I still do that.
Yeah, but, good.
We were talking about the fact that, okay, so we're making this money in the STR business and in the wholesaling business. What are we going to do, when they don't need us anymore? When we can only travel so much. So we're trying to figure out what are we going to do with our time, as these things continue to grow and thrive.
Exactly, right? And that's that is by the way, that's a very positive problem. And but that's exactly that's the systems that I designed. That's what gets me excited right there. What you're saying, what you the life that you have had. Now you've been around though a number of years. I don't even know how long.
Yep.
But it's been a
6
while.
years.
Wow. Okay. Awesome.
Yeah, your book was a PDF at that time.
It was. You've seen all of this stuff get built from like, oh, you need that? 1 second, I'll be back. You know, there's been a whole bunch of that step by step all the way through. That is amazing.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Because I mean, and I just think it's great that you guys get to experience what you're experiencing. How many units are you guys at now? Because I just don't know.
Oh, we still have 2.
Okay, got it.
We still have 2, but we're actually working with an E-Myth coach. So we've been dealing with the regulations here in DC and
got it.
finding where the legal loopholes are.
Yep.
And then we've got the Amazon thing here that throws all the prices up in the other neighborhood. So we're working to figure out where do we want to be, next. Is it here or is it some other place in another state or something? So we're trying to figure that out.
Is New Jersey on your list?
James wanted to check out New Brunswick because Johnson & Johnson is there and his cousin works for Johnson & Johnson, talked about what their travel budget is per year. But we haven't actually checked it out. I mean, it's right up the road on 95. But
that's why I said it. I said that for a number of reasons. One, in case it was on your list, and two, it is one of the most friendly states in the United States. There are If it's on your list for other reasons, let me throw this at you and just say that it's one of the more friendly states in the United States for short-term rentals. Something to think about.
Awesome.
So anyway,
awesome.
Hold on. How old is the little one now? Like a year, 2?
She is 5.5 months.
Okay, got it. I lose track of time apparently. All right, got it. 5. That is amazing. I'm excited for you guys. I'm glad that it's working out. Thanks for calling in. It's been a long time.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. We're gonna be hosting some cash flow games with friends at our house and with Pam actually and Marcus. And,
awesome!
We're probably we're gonna start teaching her cash flow.
There it is.
So that she can understand.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the new things I've been doing, like at a cash flow game, just to make to try to drive the point home. One of the things I'll tell people from time to time is say, okay, look, who wants to see me earn passive income in real time? And obviously when they raise their hand, I was like, cool, great. So then I just stand still for a second. And I go, see, that was $3.
Wow. I like that.
I like having fun with people. So have fun with that one.
Thank you.
No problem.
It was good to catch up with you. Take care.
Yeah, bye. Talk to you later. Awesome. That was cool. I had no idea. It's been a long, and as you guys have just heard, she's been around for a number of years back. Like, this is before this existed. And she says wholesaling. So the very first course we made was an ebook, or product we made was an ebook on wholesaling. I think that's what she was referring to. It was the very first one. Back when, Aweber was what we were using. Anyway, that was just pretty cool. You guys, if you have any questions, go ahead and call in. If not, no big deal. I just want to make sure that everyone knows a couple of things. You go over to cashflowdiary.com/roadmap. For those who choose to take advantage of that, our call schedule, so that you'll have a Monday 10 a.m. call, which is going to be awesome. As you said, you'll have your dedicated account. I keep saying dedicated. I keep wanting to say dedicated account rep, but that's not it. It's accountability coach. It's like, words. So you'll have your accountability coach for the 12 months. You're going to have trainings. The other thing, I forgot to mention this again. As we go out through this year, we're going to be adding more calls to it and more coaches. What does that mean? It means two things. One, those of you who take advantage now, your price is locked in for that 12 months because as we continue, it will continue to increase. That's just what's going to happen as we bring on more people. But you wouldn't experience that increase. So it's $9.97 a month, as I said, and it's $9.97 a month. Or if you want to pay in full, that's also doable. I think that's $11,964 is what it comes to. And then we give you your first television for your short-term rental. I assume that's what you're going to do with it. Maybe you don't. It's good either way. It's a 50-inch 50-inch 4K ultra high definition television, and I think that covers it. So you'll have access to phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3 material. So what does that mean? That means you can start out with with no short-term rentals with us. We'll walk you through the process. We expect the process, your complete transformation to take time. It always does. As you just heard, Haya, 6 years. Now, it didn't take her all of those 6 years, but my point is 6 years. It wasn't overnight. Never is. And her life is different today, which is exciting to me to know that our information, our relationship has helped that to happen. Even if it's only 0.0001%, that's good enough for me. I'm excited. We're looking for more. If that's you, come on down. Go over to cashflowdiary.com/roadmap. Let me check the phone one more time. Oh, hold on one second. There's another person. April. Is that you? Nope, can't hear you. It looks like, it says unmute. Haha, 1 second. Now, April.
Hey, James.
Hey, what's going on?
Oh, not much. Just, fixing issues.
You've been having a string of interesting luck. I saw that post that you made about the family who you waived the fee or whatever?
Yeah, we had a family come that we'd already hit our profit, and we were just looking to fill up 5 more days, and they asked if they could waive the extra people fees, and they were there for a funeral, and their mom died, and they had good reviews, so we said sure, and they're really nice, but we just woke up to a message that the dryer was broken, and then they had a bunch of wet clothes, and then 2 minutes later the washer was broken, and then 2 minutes later the stove was broken, and we were like, well, something else is going on here. And then they said that they switched the breaker, so I'm like, okay, well, what else did they press,
Your stove is electric in that location?
What's that?
Your stove is electric in that location?
Yes.
Oh, got it. Okay. Yeah, that's where I would head to. So did you get that fixed or resolved?
Yeah, we called our maintenance guy, and his car broke down on the way there.
No.
Yeah. I was on the line with you earlier when I called, and then I had another call, and it was him, so I had to drop off, and that's when he said his car broke down, so then we drove over there, and then it turns out we just had to press the reset button on the outlet.
Was it the GFCI? That's the other thing. Was it the GFCI?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So here's all right, so here's a lesson, because we've been through this. Go on YouTube, okay? Go on YouTube, because we literally have it saved in the processes on our Trello board, so that our staff can just send them the YouTube video that shows people how to reset. So because we learned the same hard way, sending people out, trip charges, all the stuff. So now what we do is we send them the video from YouTube that talks about resetting the GFCI, so that someone goes, oh, okay, cool, thanks. And that usually solves it. And it's then after they've watched that video, they're like, it's still not working. Then we'll actually send someone, because it's usually, it can be something else after that. But yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, so the good news is we didn't pay for the person to come out and look at it, because they never made it there.
Right.
But yes, I will add that to that process. I'm waiting on those Trello templates.
Yeah. I was trying to embed them, and it wasn't going. I'm like, argh. So I'm like, then 11 o'clock hit, and I'm like, okay, I'll finish it after this. So that's basically what it was.
Okay.
So yeah, no, I was actually in that. When I responded, I was doing it. For those of you wondering, we have an application. She and I were communicating. That's what we're talking about, stuff that's inside the application that so that they can keep moving forward. But I'm sorry. Go ahead, April.
So my question was, though, me and Brian went driving around looking for another unit today, and we ended up talking to a landlord, and it went okay, but I was just still trying to nail down, our delivery of what we do. And
what do you mean?
They're like, we just really
the delivery of what you do? What do you mean?
But the part that it always goes back to when we're trying to tell them what we do is they get stuck on how many people will be coming in and out, because, I had the notes to tell them, we're selling them on, we're going to be professionally cleaning it, an average of 5 times a month. So then that led to, well, how many people will be in here in a month? And it's like, well, an average of 5 different people. And then they're like, well, that sounds like a hotel, that there's, a lot of people coming in and out of here. And so I'm just trying to figure out the best way to
got it. You ready?
Return that question.
No problem. Yep, absolutely. You ready? We want to role play real time since, okay, I see your question, Ruth. I will get to it after this. So you want to role play real time? It'll be fun. And here's the good news. It's recorded. So remember, you can just come back and pick it up later.
Okay.
I'll be you. You be them. Go.
So wait, I'm just meeting you now?
No, there was a question. You've got all that down. Let's start where you said you had the problem.
Okay, yeah. So we do have, 5 different people coming in here in a month, but due to our security systems that we have set up, we are able to monitor everyone.
No. I'm going to be you. I'm going to be you. You're the property manager. You're the one asking the question.
Okay, so you're telling me that there's going to be 5 different groups of people coming in and out of this unit. Now this is starting to sound like a hotel, and I'm getting concerned that there's going to be a whole bunch of different people in my apartment. Does this sound like, is that kind of what you're doing? I don't know if I'm comfortable with having that many people coming in and out.
Completely understood, April. I wouldn't be comfortable with that either. Let me ask you a question. Why are you not comfortable with that many people? I'm just curious. I just want to know.
I'm concerned with the other tenants in our building, and if they're going to be disturbed by this, and I don't know the people that you have coming in. And
got it.
It just sounds, the whole idea of this sounds like I'm running a hotel. Got it.
Totally understood. And yeah, that's a very legitimate concern. And would you believe, April, that I've heard that before? What it comes down to is, I'm making an assumption here. Have you ever gotten a tenant off of Craigslist?
Yes, I have.
Got it. And when that tenant came in, what did you do? Did you screen them?
Yes, we screen them.
Of course. And we do the same thing. I mean, we because what it comes down to is that I can't just have anyone in here either. In fact, we're about to make a very significant investment in, the 5 apartments we're going to get from you. And I've got to protect that investment. You've got to provide quiet enjoyment. I totally understand that. And I agree. In fact, if someone begins to disturb, our staff we are ready 24/7 to make sure that we fix and remove the problem if need be. However, we rarely need be because of the procedures that we have in place up front. Now, in the past, with other locations that we've worked with or other managers, what we've done when they have concerns and they want to know who's there, especially in the case of an emergency, we've been able to provide them things like name, phone number, email so that they have it. Yet at the same time, I've got the same concerns as you. So what does that mean? Sometimes when we're working directly with a corporation, like the big company across the street, what they'll do is they'll put one of their managers here and they could stay for, 6 months and maybe even 6 days. And there are also times where we could be working at the hospital and that person will only stay 2 weeks. It'll always be something of that nature, but you will always know who it is. You will always have someone on our staff that you can contact, and we will always be in control from beginning to end. Because there's a lot of equipment that we use to make sure that noise levels, especially during quiet hours, are never exceeded. That we know exactly not only how many, but who is in the unit. And I don't know if you're aware of this, but one of the things that we like to do is we like to make sure that all of our systems are connected directly to the appropriate authorities so that we can get them on site. In the case of the extreme rare but needed emergency, they can get here within 9 minutes. So I'm more concerned, honestly, about maintenance and what happens when you give us one of the apartments next door to someone who's on a 1-year lease that likes to have parties rather consistently, because we've had more issues with that than people have had with us.
Okay, that makes sense.
This is why I use any, all, and a little bit of that, because all I'm doing is I'm drawing on my experience of what has happened. Because every property manager or that you ever run into, they throw up well, I don't know who they are. Now I can logically break down, I don't know who they are, and totally you probably don't know who they are, nor do you know the 12 people that visited the neighbor in B12 over the last week either. But hey, that was no problem. So I'm not even going to go down there, even though I could. My point to you, though, is hear what I did. I asked questions. Yeah. I uncovered why. What is the reason? Where is that coming from? What are they concerned about? And I heard a lack of control. I don't know. My job's at stake. That's what I heard. So cool. Okay. Now, then I just restated differently who I serve and how and how we acquire the customer and the screening and all that. That's all I did. I just restated both of those again in a different way than you probably did at the beginning, because it's not common. Again, we're not a normal bird. They don't know that we have the capacity to do terrorist watch list and other background. They don't know. And if we don't tell them, they assume we're not going to do it, which is what they should assume. That's like our job. That makes perfect sense. That's what they should assume. They shouldn't feel comfortable if those things aren't happening. That's exactly correct. But they just don't know that you were doing those things. Does that make sense? They just don't know. And we just have to calmly help people understand that.
Some of the things you said. I said some of the things you said, but you said it better. I didn't ask enough questions, so that information
and I appreciate you said it better. Let me tell you where that comes from. It comes from two spaces. One, there's a rule. It's inspect what you expect. That's number one, right? Anytime you ask me something, even if I think I know, I'm going to ask you why. I'm going to get to a why somehow. And then second, I'm emotionally detached from the outcome. Even when I'm talking to someone who I want to do business with, I'm just well practiced. I've done this for a long time, emotionally detached from the outcome, because I know, if I can't help you through what you see as an obstacle and you're not willing to overcome it, it's fine. I'll go next door. And if I can't help you, I'll go next door. I will keep going. And that is like one of the, I don't know what that is, but that's one of the things. That's how I know. Like that's how I know beyond everything. Like this new program that you're in, that's how I know that it's going to have a massive impact on the industry, because we're going to keep going until it does. Right? Because
that's right.
That's just what it is. That's just what, and that's what we've done. Understand, we've had the impact we've had without even, just because we've wanted to have the impact. And that's the difference here. You've got to want to have, you just got to want to be able to serve your people. And you don't really care who. You just care that.
What do you say if they say, have you ever had to evict somebody?
Oh, absolutely. I have. In fact, let me tell you what. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Let me tell you how that works. So when we find someone that is in violation of one of our policies, we have a number of standard operating procedures that our staff follows. When they trip the issues, they follow the procedures. Oftentimes, what happens is that whomever's on duty at that particular time will come over and assist with the removal if need be. However, in the rare instance in which we have to involve authorities or anything beyond that, we've been able to resolve issues anywhere between 15 minutes to about an hour. And usually you don't even know it. They're just gone. That's what we've been able to do in the past. I mean, we've removed people for all kinds of reasons. So yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying to you, is that I want to be set up. I want to make sure. That's why the items that I'm asking you about are necessary, so that you can continue to provide quiet enjoyment. And when something happens, not only can we remove them, we'll have all of the evidence we need to prove that it was them. It makes it really easy for us.
Perfect.
Because again, I'm being transparent, and that's the truth.
Yeah.
And that the systems that I've taught you and teach you, and more stuff on the Trello board, the whole point of it is so that you remove people within minutes, and no property manager can do that. They can't do that. They have to then deal with the 1-year lease and everyone else around that particular unit being an issue, which, if I really wanted to press hard, especially in this conversation, I would say something like, and that's why I said earlier that my concern is more about having a unit that's next to a problem tenant that you can't get rid of because you're waiting for the lease to expire, or they can't, or something like that. That's what's really that's where we've had trouble in the past, because that's also just transparent. And like, look, this is what I don't want. I don't want to be next to that person. And you already know who they are. I'm not asking you to tell me who they are. I'm just asking you not to put me next to that person, because you can't get rid of them. I can. And that's your business model versus mine. And those are the things that they just don't know. Do you know how many times the property manager has come to me later and said, we should be doing what you guys are doing? I'm like, I'm like, I have nothing. I'm like, yeah, well, let me know if I can help. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. I've removed somebody in 15 minutes.
That's my point.
I can do it.
You can't. That's my point. And they can't.
Yeah.
They literally can't. And everyone just gets to suffer because of it. So yeah, we have so many advantages. Anyway, let me see who else is here. And Ruth, I haven't forgotten about you. All right. So April, I will catch you on Monday, and then I am going to get Ruth's question right here. No problem. Talk to you soon.
All right. Thanks so much.
Yep.
Bye.
No problem. Mm-hmm. Okay, peoples, we are going to be done here in a moment. If you have any other questions, now's the time to ask. Remember, we're talking about 12 months. Okay, so interestingly, didn't know that was going to happen. And how valuable do you think that was? Like, for April specifically in this case, how valuable do you think that was? Right? So understand, earlier this week, she was in one spot. We have mentioned you need to get more units, blah, 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 blah. And she knows all of these things. And she's just like, yo, he's here. I'm going to go get my question answered right now. Being able to ping those things back and forth like that, I believe makes a huge difference for everyone's transformation. And we're offering that type of stuff to you for 12 months. 12 months. And you have a dedicated accountability coach. You have trainers like me. I'm training you 12 months to become good, proficient at all of these things. And just like April, you're going to go out there, you're going to try something we said, and you might stumble, and that's okay. Then you come back and say, hey, here's what happened. Okay, cool. Good job. Now do it this way. And then you go out there again. How do you think you learn to ride a bike? Tie your shoe. Skate if you can. How do you think you learn that? And what we're saying is now we've put together a structure to help you learn how to build a 6 and 7-figure business to do the same thing. And we're going to walk you through it for 12 months. So for those of you who want to take advantage of that, it's cashflowdiary.com/roadmap. And you'll have all of our materials, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, so that you can become the entrepreneur that you are hoping to be. And we'll step you through getting your first unit, scaling that, and then I want you to own property. But many of our students, they end up in a place with extra cash flow. They do whatever they want to do. I don't know if you saw Haley earlier, because we played her video. She's gone on to buy vacant land in Utah and open an RV park. I'm like, okay, awesome, great. And that's what's important to understand here. This is where you start. Where you finish, that's up to you. You know, that's just up to you. All right, so Ruth had a question. In Ottawa, the city proposed Airbnb STR for residents only. Would it be challenged to do in different cities with lesser restrictions? Oh, got it. So, Ruth, interesting that if I remember, Ottawa's also in Canada. Sorry, forgive me. Geography was not one of my best subjects. And, which I think is still funny, by the way, for someone in real estate. Side note. Ottawa, one of our individuals who happens to also be in Canada, if I remember correctly, she lives in Edmonton and she operates in, what is that place called? It's a really small, is it Banff? It's really small mountain town. I think that's what it is. I can't remember. My point is, it's 4 hours from her. Okay. And system still works. And Sarah, who you saw earlier today and who may still be in the chat, she lives in a place that very few people have heard of, except those who have been there, and no one wants to go visit. Minot, North Dakota. Yet her units are in Minneapolis, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know what distance that is, but it's a whiles away. This is my way of saying that we have a number of students who are operating at a distance. So you might not be able to go, quote unquote, as fast, but I would submit that you will have a better system faster because your distance necessitates that you have it. So yeah, your situation is not uncommon to us in any way, shape, or form. No problem whatsoever. Sounds great. Come join us. That's how I see it. It'd be great. Okay, what's Ladero talking about? He is saying, so good. Okay, got it. April, that's a golden conversation. I would voice record that part and keep it in your phone at all times. Not a bad idea. And all this is recorded. So there you go. There you go. Jay ran late, catching up quickly. No problem, Bob. It's all good. No, Vu, just thought you might gain some good info. Dave Clark. Hey, Dave. Huge value. That's funny. That's funny. Gayful, can I just, what is this? Can I just bring you everywhere with me, Jay? You're so good. Thank you. April, we haven't gone through that. This is, okay. Thank you. And one of the reasons that the roadmap was necessary is because I can train you to do that. I have trained people to do that. And it's just not something I can do in a recorded video. So, I intend to do exactly that, is train those in the roadmap to be able to do all of the techniques that I'm talking about. So you don't know the names of them yet, but let me tell you. So inside the course material, there's a course, it's called Income Infusion. Okay. A lot of everything that you hear me say in those types of conversations, it's me stacking together advanced techniques to come out in a flowy conversation, right? And that's really what it is. So I'm using what are known as pattern interrupts. I'm using reverses, negative reverses. I'm using start-stop reverses. I'm using many different techniques in order to get to the end goal, right? I am confessing, then attacking at the same time. That's by far one of my favorite ones. And you just don't know that that's what I'm doing. You don't know that I'm doing a softening statement when I'm doing it because it doesn't sound like a softening statement. And well, one, you don't know what a softening statement is yet, which is why we had to include the materials, because I know you guys are having issues and challenges getting through talking to the landlord. I know that. And the only way I knew to train it is this way. So there will be calls where we are training it for that specific purpose. But I can tell you right now, if you go to Income Infusion, you'll at least be able to get some of the definitions and understanding so that the words that I just used, like softening statement, negative reverse, start, stop, reverse, etc., you can see what those pieces are and the journey and objectives that I'm taking the conversation on. Yeah, that'll make sense. So I'm aware. And yes, so in a sense, I will be able to go with you. How about that? Okay. A few more minutes, we'll be done. Let's see. Ruth, answer to April is very valuable. Thank you, Ruth. Can you tell the landlord it's hard to tell how many people because some come for 30 days and 2 weeks. It depends on their goal. Yes. And Ruth, I could have said that, but here's why I did not. Okay, so, and again, this is so good right now. This is what I get excited about, by the way. This is what I'm excited to do for you for 12 months. Okay, so that we're clear. So Ruth, yes, I could have said that. The problem is I am talking to a human. When I say some people come for 30 days and some for 2 weeks, it sounds like I have no influence, no control. I don't know. It sounds out of control. Sounds, I don't know who that is. I don't have a picture. This, while that is factual, it doesn't create a picture that brings their anxiety down. So I have to create a picture in their head of a person that they know, like, trust, respect, or best looks like one of the tenants they have already passed, whose screening has already been passed, right? So I have to create that visual image. So I'd be way more specific by saying things, you know, that hospital down the street? Yeah, well, oftentimes our customers come here and sometimes they're doing one of those outpatient procedures for 2-3 weeks, etc. Blah, blah. And they're like, oh, okay, I know what that looks like. That's safe. And yeah, I said they may only come for, 2 weeks. That's what I said. But they need a picture. And I can't get a picture by just telling them how long someone stays. If that makes sense. And you just got to remember, you're talking to a human who right now, especially in today's marketplace, because awareness isn't good enough, we're asking them to, quote unquote, risk their job in a lot of cases. But this is also back to why I keep saying, I want you guys talking to owner-controlled properties. Okay? Owners. Because it matters. All right. Ruth Canmore. Thank you. That's the place. She's in Edmonton. It's in Canmore. That's it, Ruth. So yeah, the properties that they run are in Canmore. She's in Edmonton. So distance is that, and so that you know, Ruth, when I was designing this system, it started because I was looking at a hotel project in Belize, which is nowhere near where I live, and a long set of circumstances lead me to wondering how can I do that same concept of daily income, but closer to home. How can I start it closer to home? I ultimately, I want to go international, but I don't want to do that first. How do I start it closer to home? This entire system was designed with the intent, because my wife wants to have more international property. And I'm like, well, I'm not just going to waste money on international property we never sit in. How can I build a business over there so that maybe we can get our second passport? We can do a lot of other things that make sense. This is out of that desire came, well, if I'm going to do that, then it has to be able to run by itself, and it has to do this, and it has to be able to run at a distance, and all those things together is where is where I started with the design. So distance is a non-factor. As you heard Haya say earlier, what are we going to do when they don't need us? Like, that's like her legit concern. And I understand. This is back to what I told you guys on day one. I was 38. I had nothing to do because I had designed my way out of something to do every day. And that was not good for me. I discovered teaching. So here we are. You teach and make it fun. Thank you, Frank. I'm having fun. That's for sure. I appreciate that. Where does one learn about these conversation techniques? I've never heard of these things. Sarah, I know. It's in Income Infusion. You have access to it, Sarah. You've always had access to it. But anyway, it's in Income Infusion. This is why. This is literally why. Because the last time I taught it live, I could only find one day, and we did 4 hours, and it was like $2,500 a person. And that yeah. Anyway, so for those of you in the roadmap, there, Sarah, you are at the higher level, which includes this. So don't stress. All right. That's just what it is. So yeah. Feel, felt, found. Yes, that's not bad. That's not a bad way to start, Erwin. But there's the Dale Carnegie School it's better than having nothing. Yet it doesn't always come out sounding human, like I was listening, and that's part of the challenge, and it just stresses a lot of things that take it away from being a natural conversation. Yet it still works because it does. There's just another system that I got trained in that I was able to, because the challenge with the Dale Carnegie's, it's hard to train that one. It's just really hard to train it. But yeah, no, it works. It's just really hard to train. That hospital line works perfect, especially if your unit is close by. Yes. And Erwin, if you did step 1, oh my God. Wow. Neighbors. Anyway, if you did step 1, you know that the hospital is nearby already. It was done intentionally, so it's not random, right? See, you can't skip who you want to serve. You can't skip that, guys. Because by the time you get to this part of the conversation, if you haven't done this, it sounds like you're scrambling and making up answers. Whereas if you did this intentionally from the beginning, it's really clear to them. You've been consistent. There was a throughput. There was thought. This is not, maybe they're different. And I hear that more often than you would think. When I'm talking to property managers, they go, you're different than the other Airbnb people. Okay, great. Glad to hear that. It's just so that we're clear. And that's what I want for all of you, right? That's what I want for all of you. Anyway, Ruth, I can do 3 units in Ottawa because I have 2 children myself, and then go to Quebec side and build there because there's no law there. Okay, great. That sounds awesome, Ruth. Let's go. I still have not been to Canada, though. I at some point, I'll probably need to fix that. Anyway, for those of you, hopefully, I don't know, maybe an impromptu demonstration was helpful. Let me make sure that no one's on the phone because that would have been embarrassing to have left them there. Okay, so maybe an impromptu demonstration like that. So what you kind of witnessed, especially when I was talking to April, she is actually in the program already, and we go back and forth on things. They have time like that. So she's got multiple times a week where she and I can connect. She'll be connecting with her accountability coach as well, to be able to do quick things like that, get the question answered, and then get right back out there into the field and get the next step done. And then they have all of the support materials, all of the worksheets, all of the help that they need to make the progress. So yeah, that's how it works for 12 months. And that's what we're offering you. So hopefully that's something that sounds good to you. And I hope oh my God, that was loud. Sorry. Hopefully you have a great rest of your weekend, ladies and gentlemen. I get excited, like I said, because I found what I was supposed to do. And that honestly is to teach you, which is great. And to keep going, keep pushing, keep trying, don't quit. And we've got some more testimonials for you today, I believe. You'll see some more live, some more recorded. I think we may even have a bonus training on like pricing that was already recorded. So again, just stay tuned, stay in the group. For those of you who know you're ready, go ahead and get it done. Get over to cashflowdiary.com/roadmap. Complete the payment process, enrollment process. Get your paperwork in, get it done. Tuesday, 11:59 p.m. Pacific time. All of the videos related to the roadmap come down. All of them. Get them watched. Do it now. And then, because after the videos come down, we're going to be focused on helping all of the students make their progress. Okay. As I've said before, we will, be doing this multiple times this year. And each time you see us, it will be a little bit more expensive or a lot of bit more expensive each and every time, because the value of what we're putting together, it's totally there. And not only that, we're adding more so that we can support more continually through the process. So hopefully this was helpful. I'm glad that you guys give us your attention. We look forward to serving you in the future. In the meantime, go crush it. Go do it. And if this is the first thing you saw, you need to get over to the units section right now. Get caught up. Get your homework in, because we want to give away some stuff. Monday is going to be exciting in terms of who's won what, because it's based upon the people if you've invited people, because what's happening right now is our computer is literally tallying up, and it's going to sound crazy, but it's tracking how many comments and who left the comments right now. So if you're not commenting, you're not tracked. And we're tracking who's turned in the homework and who's doing the exit. So it's just easy for us to know how many entries everybody has, and most importantly, who's going to win it. So it's going to be great to have some fun, and I'm looking forward to meeting more of you on a deeper basis. But in the meantime, get over to cashflowdiary.com/roadmap. Let's get this thing done. I will talk to you guys soon. Until next time.